What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Julio.datrucker and I'm back here with another video. This is my ATS orientation review. Before we get into the review part, I just want to go over my history and my background and what I've been up to lately since my last upload. So I got my CDL when I was 21 years old. About 3 months after getting my CDL, I worked for my first company, which was Western Express. About 9 months after working from Western Express, I decided to become a trainer. I trained over 50 guys, 50 people while I worked there. Met a lot of good people, made a lot of friends, a lot of experiences. I learned a lot from Western Express. I did Northeast Regional Flatbed the whole time I was there. After about 4 years with Western Express, I took a year off. After my year was up, I decided, I still wanted to go with the flatbed heavy haul route. So I decided to come to ATS. I heard a lot of good things about ATS and their program they got here. They help you get into overdimensional. They take you step by step, level you up so you can get into heavy haul. That's what I want to do. So pretty much I called a recruiter, touched base with him. I asked him some questions. He asked me some questions. I liked what he had to say. He liked what I had to say. So he went ahead and got me approved. They do the flatbed orientation in Porter, Indiana. So I'm in Virginia. So he asked me if I wanted to get a flight or a rental car. I went with the flight. About a week before orientation, that's when we had to knock out a bunch of stuff, get my drug test, get all the documents sent over to him. He sent me my flight confirmation. They gave me my everything I needed to know, because I flew out on a Sunday. Orientation was on a Monday. So, the 2-hour nonstop flight straight to Porter. They don't do any check bags on the flight, so I had to check my bag in. You do get a personal item, you could bring. So, yeah, I got to Porter, Indiana around like 10 or 8 p.m. at night. So it's been like a month, 2 months since I've been here, since orientation. So bear with me a little bit. So yeah, I got to the airport out there. As soon as I touched down, ATS has a taxi service that comes get you from the airport, since the airport is about 2 hours away from the terminal. Or no, it's about an hour. The driver texted me as soon as I landed. I told him I had to go get my check bags. He said, cool, take your time, no rush. As soon as I got my bag and headed out to go meet the driver, I told him where I was at. He pulled right up. Black truck service. No, it wasn't a black truck service, but a black minivan. It was cool. It was nice, driver friendly. He didn't try to talk to me the whole ride or nothing. Got me to the hotel. Once I got to the hotel, it was definitely around about 10 p.m. at night for sure. So the guy at the front desk, he was ready for me. He had my welcome package there with everything I needed to know to get me started the next morning. Got inside the room. Had a room by myself, really nice room. So yeah, got in there, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, 6:30 a.m. That's what time the shuttle comes. They got breakfast that you can get at the hotel. Orientation. It was about 3 instructors there. And yeah, we went over some rules and, some expectations. And first day was pretty much all paperwork. Just a lot of paperwork, videos. A lot of paperwork and videos. And yeah, they would pull about 2 drivers out at a time so you can go do sim training. Sim training is a simulator where you get on the simulator, and it's really expensive. It's different. That was my first time ever doing anything like that. It was pretty cool though. I was nervous. I was really nervous at first, but it's really nothing to be nervous about. It's just there to help you in a different way than being in an actual truck. It takes a little minute to get used to, but they don't really grade you on it. It's just something they use just to help you. Everybody knows it's a simulator, so it's not gonna be like a truck, but it's different. I like it. That was pretty much day one. around 11, that's when they bring you lunch. You know, the restaurant they use for lunch is Uno Pizzeria. It's a nice restaurant, pizza place. 3 p.m., 3:30 or 3 p.m., that's when the shuttle comes and takes you back to the hotel. And then you chill at the hotel, work on your videos. You got a lot of videos that you got to knock out. You know, they expect you to knock out the videos by like Wednesday or something. So when I got back to the hotel, I just worked on my videos. At the hotel, they got a pool, they got a sauna, they got a gym. So, you know, I was taking advantage of the gym and the sauna. Seemed like I was the only one there taking advantage of the gym and the sauna, which I'm not complaining. You know, the gym around 5, they bring you over dinner, Uno Pizzeria. So yeah, day 2 of orientation, pretty much the same thing as day 1. Wake up 6:30 in the morning. You know, you can wake up early if you want to go to breakfast. I never had enough time. I had to go out there straight to get to the shuttle. They take you over there, you do your videos, and you hop on a video call. We hopped on a video call with St. Cloud, Minnesota, the main terminal, and they had some representatives from over there just coming on talking about the company and, you know, just going over information, you know, that you should know about the company and everything and what role they play and, you know, what they expect and, you know, company policies and all that good stuff. So, yeah, we hopped on a video call with them. You know, the instructors were still bringing out about 2 people at a time so they could do sim training. You know, I did my sim training the first day. You know, I got out of the way. So, yeah, they pulled different people out. You just went on the video call. We just worked on our videos. You know, just a lot of paperwork, filling out paperwork, doing what we need to do. And ate lunch around 11. Uno Pizzeria again, and that yep, pretty much just a chill day, just videos and paperwork pretty much. And then we left around 3. So day 3, Wednesday, that's when pretty much all your videos and everything you should be finished with. That's when they expect you to have it done, especially if you're on the drive-in side. Because drive-in, that's when you're leaving. You know, you get in your truck and you getting out of there. Flatbed is different because we got low securement training, which is pretty much starts on Wednesday and then Thursday and then Friday if you need a little bit more time. So pretty much day 3, I think I finished all my videos on day 3, you know, on my tests and all of that. So yeah, Wednesday, that's when we went over there to the securement bay, and the instructor, we had to go over all the DOT rules and regulations when it comes to flatbed. We had a presentation, you know, a slideshow that went over different things. It's always nice to get a refresher because once you're doing flatbed, you know, it just becomes second nature. Went over the presentation, you had to take a test. Once you get done with the test, you go out there into the securement bay. They got about 8 to 10 loads, I think, something around there. You just pretty much like a free-for-all. You just practice securing the different loads, and you gotta secure every load out there, and then before they can certify you. If you got experience, you probably be out by Thursday. I was out by Thursday, so if you don't have experience, it's new to you. Take your time, man. It ain't no rush. Get all the help you need, especially if you never done flatbed before, because it's real. You know, you gotta make sure everything good on your trailer before you pull off. You know. Back when I was at Western Express, it was a lot of strap and go. We didn't really use chains as much, but ATS, we use chains. I've been here for about a month and a half now, 2 months, and pretty much about 60-70% of my load's been chaining down. And you know, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing while you're out there. So day 4, we went out there and showed us how to do this, how to work the spread axles. That's new to me. You do it for your weight distribution. So they taught us how to do that. Then we went out there and messed with the RGM. They show you how to take it off and put it back on. So before you do the RGM, they want you to watch the video on the driver app, and it teaches you how to pull the gooseneck off and put it back on. So I ain't gonna lie, I watched that video about 10-15 times, and I kind of embarrassed myself a little bit because they made me go first, and it's different from watching the video and just going out there and really just trying it. So I definitely messed up. The instructor told me, hey, you going in the back of the line. So I had to sit out there and watch everybody do it. And, you know, it's all right, though, because practice makes perfect. You're not going to get it on the first try. It's going to take some time. And I know I ain't pulled an RGN yet since I've been here, but once I go pull my RGN, I'm going to make sure I watch that video 1,000 times while I'm doing it and making sure I know what I'm doing before. Went back in the securing bay, you know, and pretty much you just secure them loads. And they had a crane. I mean, they had a boom. They had a genie. They had a coil. They had a nice different variety of loads that you just practice securing on. And once you finish all your securement, they certify you. So I finished all my stuff Thursday afternoon. So after I got certified, I went in there to see the instructor. He gave my packet, my truck number, and he sent me out the back door. I went to go find my truck. Once I found my truck, the mechanic came out there to go over the truck with me. He showed me the buttons, you know, made sure everything was good. You know, the truck, it was pretty clean. You know, it was decent. He showed me the bunk heater. I had a bunk heater on my first truck with Western Express. I know how to use that. APU is a little different. So yeah, after me and the mechanic went over the truck, I pulled over there to the where they give you a flatbed equipment. So they bring out your flatbed equipment in this big box with all your stuff, everything you need, and is in that box. And he pulled it out in a forklift. They got this little stand that they put it on so you can go ahead and load everything into your truck, which is really nice. After I loaded my truck up, I called my dispatcher. You know, he gave me his introduction. I introduced myself to him, and he told me let him know once I was ready for my first load. So I got to the hotel, drove the truck back to the hotel, parked it out there, and he ended up calling me before he left for the day and told me he had a load that I could go pick up tomorrow, the next morning. It's Thursday. I started orientation on Monday. Thursday, I had my truck. Everything was ready, and he told me he had a load for me the next morning to go pick up from Chicago, Illinois, going to some part of South Carolina. But yep, that was my weekend load. So I was excited to hear that. You know, it was a load of steel. All right, YouTube, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please leave me a like. If you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments. I'll answer all of them. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe.